what impact did the community have on TrainMate? How did the users react to this by when they share their feedback with you? Did it empower them to go further? Did it was it a sense of camaraderie? I'm not alone on this mission. Was it more of, man, like I can't stand the fact that some person overtook me on the leaderboard? What kind of feedback did you collect?
Oh man, there's some stories. So I have there's two guys that come to mind on the on the app, and hyper competitive males. So they didn't know each other, and then there was one week when they started competing on the number one spot for the leaderboard. So then like imagine Thursday, for example, Yahya is up there. It's called Yahya and Asper. So Yahya was up, and then Asper overtook him. Then and that cycle would keep going like a Looney Tunes cartoon. You know what I mean? It was like going back and forth like this. Eventually, they find each other on Instagram somehow. Like one of them finds the other on Instagram, uninvited, adds him, and be like, "I'm gonna kick your ass this week. The first spot is mine." Obviously, jokingly, right? But people like we got people to care that much about the point system and their experience on the app to the point where they're super motivated. So there's those stories, and then there are other stories of people who are in the second category, right? So people that dabbled with fitness, weren't sure about their nutrition. The majority of the people we're trying to help that come on and they're like, now they look at the people in the first category as inspiration, as motivation, because now if I'm in the 12th spot and I'm looking and I see this, for example, beautifully consistent person on the top, I can click on their profile on TrainMate and learn. I can see what are their favorite workouts, what did they do this week, how many steps, how well did they eat, what workouts did they do, what are they eating. I can see literally what they're eating. So now that second category of users are using the first category as inspiration and motivation and as a learning kind of indirect mentors essentially, right?
Makes sense. And it's nice to see that it's empowering because of the way it's designed. It doesn't have that toxic element, the toxic feeling that is usually associated with a place where you can see how well other people are doing. Because you can easily see this fake narrative everywhere you look, every platform you open. There's always someone celebrating that they're living a great life and that they're doing amazing, but it's almost like a secret. How? You don't know.
Yeah.
What's behind this success? You don't know.
Exactly.
Was it easy? No. I mean, when you access someone's workout and you see that maybe it was an intense workout and their heart rate reached this much or they walked X number of steps, you're like, okay, so it wasn't easy that they did this. Whereas on other platforms and the way people share it, it sounds like it's a fairy tale.
I was born like this.
Exactly. and I love how it's designed to really focus on the value of, please learn from others, and you'll see that it requires dedication. This person logged every single bite that day, every single calorie. Not to be over obsessive, but like they're dedicated to that extent.
Correct.
Or they never missed a workout, or maybe if one of their goals was to move every day. So I love that element maintains a sense of, I enjoy keeping track of what people are doing, staying up to date with the leaderboard. It's not something I want to dissociate from or feel like, oh, now I feel like I'm so behind and the gap is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, completely agree. And look, and you've described it so perfectly, because one of the things that we're trying to do is contextualize results in function of effort. Biggest issue today on social media is that everyone sees the end result. No one sees the work behind it. Whether that's in fitness, that's in business, family, whatever. You just see pictures of happy couples and happy families. You just see someone driving a Lambo or whatever. If that's what you want, great. For me, it's a bit cringy, but anyways, like you see basically the materialistic success being flaunted. You see someone with a six-pack ab and great, just and you're like, okay, great. I want it maybe, but how? And then you start, and then you're like, whoa, this is very difficult. And then that question comes up. What's that question? Is it me? Am I doing it wrong? Or is it actually that difficult? And you don't have the answer to the question. And that's where most people fail. I swear, that question is the most horrible question that has destroyed dreams, whether that's in startups, business, when people walk into a process that is meant to be extremely difficult, for example, without the proper expectations. Right? And then the natural conclusion is it must be me. Because it seems easy that other people are doing it. They're successful, they have the results. There's no way they suffered that much to get those results. So it must be me. It must be that's not for me. But when you open the hood and you show them what's under it, they're like, oh shit, now it makes sense. So now when they hit that wall, they're like, oh, but actually, it doesn't feel so bad anymore because I know it's normal part of the process. I know that this is how it's meant to be. And and that's in everything in life. That's fitness, business, anything, you know? And that's the importance of having the access to see what people who are really fit, for example, what do they do? Like you see, they walk 70,000 steps per week, 10,000 steps per day. You see, they're working out 280 minutes a week. You see, they have a food score of 600 on TrainMate. Doesn't come easy. You see them posting every day a workout. Yeah. And that also, by the way, makes you question what you want because you're like, maybe I'm not willing to do all of this. So I'll settle for something a bit less than this person in terms of results. That will work for me. But then now I can calibrate the effort I'm targeting in function of what is the sacrifice I'm willing to make. But you have the knowledge, and with the knowledge comes the power and the assurance of what you're doing. And you know, I know what I'm doing now. I'm not confused anymore, right?